episode of The Conversation Station. This episode, we're just going to be looking at a couple of new comics that I got and just talking about a few of the TV shows that I've been watching. The first comic I got is the Spectre and Batman number 540. Really awesome cover. Some really great artwork. This is like definitely a different style. Alfred's style is probably like the funniest, but I love how they're drawn differently and kind of smaller eyes and bigger faces. This one is another one of those ones that has Batman with the long ears. I just recently seen like a Twitter thing where they were asking, which Batman do you like better, the long ears or the short ears? But eventually Batman finds out where this guy is going to be meeting up with somebody else, and he interrupts the meet and takes the guy who he was supposed to meet to jail. Basically, yeah, bad guy thinks he set him up, and he blames Batman for putting him into jail. Now, because of this, that criminal sends hitmen to this guy's apartment and says, here's 3 more kisses from the Batman. Which, now that there's a murder involved, it leads to the Spectre, which this is kind of a really funny shot of him. And again, we just got some great shots of that long-eared Batman. Looks really awesome. Also got an ad for the Teen Titans, which looks really awesome too. Would love to get my hands on one of those. And by the end, the Spectre actually goes into hell to talk to the guy that Batman was looking for. And when he asks him who is responsible for his death, he replies, the Batman. So obviously leading to the Spectre looking for the Batman, and he's going to be on the hunt for him. Definitely want to get the continuation for this because I would love to see the rest of the story. Next we have an Aquaman comic, number 39, dated for December of '97. Really awesome detailed cover of Aquaman's face with some fish. Written by Peter David, so that was also really cool. On the back we have this Batman toy underworld with Mr. Freeze. Pretty awesome. Now right off the bat we open up and it's just this weird picture, and I was like wondering what it is. It's Mortal Kombat. That's supposed to be Sub-Zero. That was really cool. It was kind of like jarring. But we start off with Senator Perkins hanging out at the side of a yacht, basically talking about Atlantean relations and Atlantean tourism and just how that's going, when a giant explosion happens on the side of his ship, bringing forth an enemy called Rhombus. And I've honestly never even really heard of him. So I'm interested to see if I see him again in any other stories. Definitely want to get the continuation to this as well. Also, if I'm mispronouncing this enemy's name, that is totally my bad. But it starts off with Rhombus essentially attacking somebody that Aquaman cares about, which is Rhombus's daughter. He believes it's his daughter. Now this Rhombus character attacks who he believes to be his daughter from Tsunami, and Senator Perkins believes that it's his daughter. Now this is also my first introduction to this Neptune Perkins character. I'm definitely going to have to Google him, look it up, and see, but honestly I just like to read it and figure out who the character is through the comics. So I might not spoil it for myself. I might just get more comics and read about him. He believes that this character is his daughter, and in the comic the reader is led to believe that that might not be the case. Got a really awesome ad for Mellow Yellow. Also got a Own It on Video for Batman and Robin. That leads to a huge fight between Aquaman and Rhombus, and eventually they end up on a aircraft carrier, and it's just a really huge fight that leaves Arthur engulfed in flames and gasoline. An old Twix ad. It's pretty cool. This page is really cool because it shows us how Rhombus, before he was what he is today, he has like a fractured memory of what happened, so he believes that this Deep Blue is his daughter, and he just can't really remember things correctly. But he does remember a water wizard being the one who banished him, and it was a blonde water wizard which made him believe that or possibly think that it could be Aquaman's descendant. Another really cool Coca-Cola ad. Eventually Neptune Perkins and Tsunami arrive to give Aquaman some backup, and much needed if you look at the story. One thing I love about this book, and all books, but this book specifically, is the action. There is a lot of really great action, just shots in this one. This story is just full of action and fighting, and it was really awesome, a really good read, super enjoyable. We also have another little magazine ad for the Justice League, which gives us a really cool blue and white suit Superman. I thought that was really awesome. Now, I won't ruin the story of how they end that one, but it is a really great one, and that dude gets absolutely decimated. Alright, last but certainly not least, my favorite of this pickup, I got Adventures of Superman number 500, Back from the Dead. The entire super team. Lovely cover. It's like a hardcover, not your average magazine. We got a Play Like the Pros Sega ad on the back. Super excited when I saw this one. Now this is one of those books where, like, if I could, I would just show you every single page, but I don't want this to be like a 2-hour video, so I'm just going to show you the highlights and the ones that I really, really loved. First off, we open the book up to a ad for the Coneheads. Consume mass quantities. I just thought that was really cool. Hardcover. I think that ad is in a few other books that I have, but every time I see it, it's just awesome. Now it starts with the life after death, a shot of Jonathan Kent on the operating table. He's had a heart attack after the loss of Superman and just all the stress and everything like that. And after that page, we get an amazing shot of Jonathan Kent and Superman in the afterlife and him just trying to talk to him and things like that. This whole scene of just, Superman being led into the afterlife and Jonathan Kent not wanting him to go, essentially, is just beautifully drawn and so well written. And it's just one of those things that kind of, makes you choke up because you don't want Superman to go, and, you really understand how much, his dad loves him. Now in death, Jonathan Kent is taken on a kind of spiritual journey through Vietnam. He believes he's trying to liberate a captured airman, and I assume the airman is a metaphor for Superman, because that's who he's looking for, is Clark. Is looking for him in the afterlife. And so it was really, really cool to see him fighting his way through this memory that he's had, but he knows it's not exactly the same as the way he remembers it. And this journey takes him through different parts of his past. He talks about how his dad basically, gave him quite a wallop after he found him falling through a well, and just kind of how hard and difficult his life was, and just how different he was than his father. But then after that, we get a really great shot. It was essentially looks like the DC Devil, and it's really awesome, full page, and it's just terrifying, but some really great artwork. After that, we have some more beautiful shots. Jonathan Kent is grabbed by a being called Kimzit, and it just is absolutely awesome. I love when they do like the 4-panel across showing, one big picture, and I just love the way they make her look so cosmic and just awesome. I think it just looks great. By the time Jonathan Kent finds Superman, he is being led in a procession of Kryptonian funeral, and he's basically just being led to his death, and Jonathan Kent's trying to talk him out of it and tell him that it's not his time yet and he doesn't need to go. And Superman at the time is basically just accepting it and saying, this is my place, this is where I have to be, and it's my time, and it's not your time yet, so you need to go back. And his dad's just telling him, fight it, you need to open your eyes and see this for what it really is. And after a touching moment of Jonathan Kent telling Superman to have a little faith in him, they find their way back. And this, of course, leads us into, or at least, well, from what it looks like, I have a few of these as well, but it leads us right into Reign of the Superman. Because right here we have him coming out of here, gotta stop Doomsday. And he is the Man of Steel. And this is the other Superman that I believe is the hologram in place of the real Superman. So yeah, it's definitely setting it all up for Reign of the Superman. Now I have a total of 6 Reign of the Supermen, and those are some really good reads. I love them. I would love to get the entire collection of these. There. So it's really awesome that I get the story that leads up to this. I just want to get more and more of it. And I also have these 3 of the Funeral for a Friend, so it's really cool to have so many ones dealing with Superman's death. But I definitely like to get the ones that is the fight between him and Doomsday. Really enjoy collecting these comics and catching up on all these fascinating stories. All these characters, I mean, I really love them on screen, but just to see the books and the source material where it comes from, it just makes me more excited to see the stuff that we have coming down the way. Honestly, the shows so far that I've been watching are just Alien Earth. I've been continuing that. It's just been phenomenal. Rick and Morty's new season was really, really good. Surprisingly, just keeps getting better. A lot of people have issue with the fact that the voices changed, and I think the way that the characters are written, the voices are true enough to the characters, and the writing is true enough to the characters that I think it just doesn't affect it. This season we had that episode with Jerry where it talked, it had to deal with him basically swapping places with other Jerry, and it was kind of another multiversal episode, but it was really good. And it was just really awesome and really cool. And even though it was a Jerry-centered episode, that was probably my favorite of the whole season. I thought it was really cool. And also the one where Rick had to deal with his old sentient memory version of himself. That one was another one of those incredibly introspective episodes where it just makes you kind of think a lot and shows you that the smartest man in the universe, or the man who can get everything, there's still some things he can't do, and still some things that he can't get back. And I think that's just, when you portray a character as a god and yet you still have something that's just out of his reach, I think that's important for the character. And even though a lot of that episode dealt with him trying to get rid of that part of him, I don't think it'll ever truly be gone, and I don't think he ever wants it to be gone. And I think that's what makes him the Rickest Rick. But love the season. The whole season was fantastic, and I think it's just going to get better and better. Last but not least, Peacemaker. Peacemaker is one of those shows that I am looking forward to every Thursday. I genuinely can't wait till the next new episode drops. It literally makes the week go by faster. I can't even explain it. It's just a phenomenal show, and it's funny, action-filled, just everything you want. And it's hit all bases so far. But those are all the shows that I'm watching at the moment. I finished the season of Rick and Morty, as I said, and so yeah, just kind of continuing on Alien Earth and Peacemaker. And I'll be doing a review on Peacemaker of the last episode, or just the season, in general, when it's over. I really appreciate any time you spent watching my videos. If you want to support me, go ahead and like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I hope to see you again.